it's Miss Kim from Naturally Stem. I'm very happy to be with you today. Since it is the 1st of November and Thanksgiving is right around the corner, I thought we could talk some cool turkey facts today. Turkeys are a really cool animal, and so I'd like to give you some really cool facts about them so you can like them just as much as I do. At the end of our session, we're going to be making a turkey call so you guys can maybe sound like a turkey, and we're also going to make a hand turkey. So while I'm talking, you guys get to create this. So I'm going to help you with the outline first, and then while I'm talking, you guys can be finishing decorating, and I'll give you something to do while you're listening and you're watching, and it's going to be a good time. So what I need you to do right now is, after I say it, please pause your video and then go get a piece of paper, construction paper, whatever you have, a pencil, and some crayons, markers, colored pencils, again, your choice. So pause the video right now, go get your things, and come right back. Awesome. Okay, you guys ready? The other thing I didn't mention that you guys are going to need for your turkey is your hand. So I'm left-handed, I write with my left hand. So the hand that you don't write with, I want you to put right in the center of your paper. Take your pencil. We're very carefully going to just trace around our 5 fingers and our hand. Stop at the wrist when you get there. You might be a little faster than me. I try to go slow. Okay, so just stop at the wrist. So it looks like that, and then we're just going to make a line at the bottom that connects the two. And there you go, you have your body of your turkey. Now find your thumb, and then at the bottom of your thumb, you're just simply going to make your beak. Yeah. And then inside the thumb, you're going to make 2 circles, one inside of each other. That creates his eye. Wonderful. And turkeys have 3 toes on each leg, so I'm going to make a line and just 3 toes at the bottom. Awesome. See? There you go. There is your turkey right there. How easy was that? Now if you see, I had a little grass and I added a sun. I made mine just as cute as I could. So you decorate yours however you like. So you sit back, enjoy that, and let me give you some cool turkey facts right now. Did you guys know that turkeys can run up to 25 miles an hour? Now that is really, really fast. So think about when you're driving through town, speed limit is usually 25 miles an hour. So that turkey can run as fast as your car goes in the middle of town. Okay? That's quite fast, isn't it? Did you know that they could fly? They can fly. They can fly into very short bursts, so very short distances, but they can fly up to 55 miles an hour, which is, again, think of your car going out on the highway before you get really, really fast. So 55 miles an hour is very, very fast for a turkey to be able to fly. So that's really cool about turkeys. Do you know what their names are? Males have different names from females, and that's how we can tell them apart. I have some pictures right here. And these guys down here at the bottom, these are adult males. You see how they have their tails extended? They are showing off for the girls. These guys, they're called toms or gobblers when they are adults. When they are young turkeys, the males, they're called jakes. Now my females, that's these beautiful little girls down here. They don't have their tail feathers exposed like that. They don't display their feathers. They're a lot quieter. They don't gobble. They don't make that gobble gobble sound. That's why the males have that name, because they make that gobble 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 sound. Okay. The females, they make sounds like yelps, yelp 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 yelp. Purrs when they're very happy. They will purr like a kitten. The males turkeys will do that as well. They cluck and they kiki. There's all kinds of sounds, and every different sound that these guys make has a different meaning. When they are clucking, they're just trying to get each other's attention. When the males are gobbling, when they say gobble, 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 they're trying to attract the females, or they're having competition with another male. So everything that they do has a meaning to it. Just like we talk together, turkeys talk together too. They have alarm sounds. So another really cool thing about turkeys is, do you know where they sleep? They sleep in the trees. Yeah, that's what they do. They will sleep in the trees, and they're called roosting, and they do that to stay safe. But if there is a predator coming around, then they will start yelping at each other, and that will allow them to know that something is going on. So everything that they do for a reason, just like we do when we talk. So I have a little sound bite. So I'm going to show you what the females sound like compared to the males. So in this short little clip, the females, they're going to yelp, and then you're going to hear the male turkeys gobble back. Really quickly, I forgot, the female turkeys are called hens, and when they're young, they're called jennies. So adult males are called toms or gobblers. Young males are called jakes. Adult females are called hens. Young females are called jennies. And this is what they sound like. So this is going to be the female first, and then the male. See if you can see the difference. Nice. Could you tell the difference? That's exactly what happens in nature. So if you hear those sounds, you're going to hear a female and a male talking back and forth. And that is so, so cool. I absolutely love them. Another really cool fact about turkeys is they have some of the funniest names for their body parts. Okay? I'm going to show you the male turkey head, and the females have the same things, but they are not as pronounced. They're not as big as the males, because remember, in the wild, the males will have the biggest of things. They will have the brightest colored things. They do that so they attract the females. Okay, so always keep that in your head. But this is the head, just the head of a turkey, but this is cool. If you guys look at turkeys, they're going to have this little thing coming off the top of their nose, and the bigger it gets, it can overlap. It can hang over the nose. That's called the snood. Snood. I like that word, snood. This little red part that hangs down underneath their chin is called the dewlap. So you got that red flappy stuff underneath their chin, the dewlap. Now this is really cool. Where all these bumps are, the bumps themselves are called caruncles. Okay, caruncles. But for all this part right here, where all those bumps are, all that added together is called the wattle. So they have a wattle, they have a dewlap, they have a snood. Isn't that cool? They have the funniest names. But they also have on their chest, the males do, what's called a beard. So you see that hanging right there? I've made one. So this will hang off the chest of the male, and the bigger it is, the more the females like it. When they have that snood that hangs over their nose, the bigger it is, the more the females like it. And the wattle and the dewlap, as much as they are, how big they get, let me show you in this picture here. So you see my male turkeys right here? You see all of that. That's his wattle and his dewlap. And I don't know if you can see his snood overlapping his nose, but that's very, very attractive to the females. So that's why you'll see a turkey just puffing up like that, and he'll drag his feathers on the ground, his wings, he'll drag them on the ground, and it just makes him look bigger than he is, and the females really, really like that. Their heads can change color from white, whitish, to blue, to red, and that's during mating season to also attract those females. It's really, really cool. One of the reasons that the turkeys do roost in the trees, like I said earlier, is because they need to protect themselves, because they're birds, so they're pretty vulnerable when they're on the ground at night, and they have predators. So they will roost in the trees to keep the predators away from them. And some of the predators that you will see getting a hold of turkeys sometimes are some of my friends right here. That's why I have these guys right here. So this guy, do you guys know who this is? This is the raccoon. Raccoon is indicative. I can identify him by the rings on his tail. Okay, he's got that ringed tail. And he's got the mask between his eyes. So he is called the masked bandit, just for that, because he's got what looks like a mask around his eyes. He's got really cool hands that are just like ours are. He has thumbs that move like this. They're called opposable thumbs. So he can grip things. So this guy, when turkeys are really young, because another thing about a turkey, a male turkey, they have this part on the back of their toes. Like we said a while ago, turkeys have 3 toes, but on the back of their foot, the male's turkey has this spur. Now that spur is for protection, so they protect himself and his family, and for competition with other turkeys when they're fighting for dominance, for females, for things like that. But this will protect the turkeys. They have their beaks, which are long and hard, hurts. It will do a lot of damage. It can break into your skin and stuff. But they have that spur on the back of their foot, and that spur is very sharp, and it will get very long the bigger the turkey gets. And that can really inflict some damage on animals. So the raccoon, they can get a hold of the young chicks or poults. When turkeys are babies, they're called chicks or poults. And my raccoon can get a young poult. They might be able to get a Jake or a Jenny. Remember, those are the young ones. But an adult turkey, the raccoon's going to have a pretty good fight. But you never know. That's going to be a pretty evenly matched fight between an adult turkey and an adult raccoon, because adult raccoons can also get to be about 60 pounds. And they have both sets of canine teeth, so their teeth will be about that big, and they also have claws. They're just like human hands, just about. So this guy is a predator to our turkeys. So is this guy, which we really love. Who is this? Good guess. He is our fox. This is the red fox. There is another fox that's not seen as commonly as these, and they are the gray fox. They're a little bit smaller, and they are gray patterned, so that's why they have that name. But this is my red fox. And red fox, they are a predator for the turkey as well, and they can fight about any size turkey and win. So these guys are another predator of the turkey. That's why you see the turkeys in the trees. And the last one I have today is our bobcat. He is just gorgeous. He is a camouflaged animal. He's a beautiful example of a camouflaged animal, and he is meant to blend in. So he can sneak up on those birds and catch them by surprise and unaware. And he can actually climb trees. Raccoons can climb trees, fox not so much. So our turkeys go up high so they can see them coming, and then they will yelp and they will warn everybody else so they know what's happening, what's going on. So my turkeys are pretty smart. They know what to do when they need to get away from everything else. I really, really like that about them guys, because sometimes people think, oh, turkeys, little brains. No, they're actually very smart. They see very, very well. They can smell. So sometimes their senses are just about better than ours, which is really, really cool. The last thing that I want to talk about before we make our turkey call, and I hope you guys are doing really, really cool on your turkeys, is something really, really cool. Sorry, Bobcat just fell on the floor. I'll get him in a minute. As a biologist, so I am an educator, but my first degree is a biologist. So a biologist is somebody who studies life. I study the earth. I study everything that goes on in it. I love understanding nature and what is happening in there. So I go out and I look for a lot of signs out there in nature, and based on what I see out there, I can tell who's been out there, sometimes how recently they've been out there, how fresh the tracks and the scat is. Scat, if you don't know, by the way, friends, is wildlife poop. So if you hear me say scat, I'm really talking about animal poop, okay? Animal poo or scat, and that's the word I'm going to use because that's the proper term. I can tell a lot about the environment or the ecosystem based on the amount of scat I find and the different kinds of scat I find. Scat has different shapes and forms and colors and textures, and I can tell by those things what animal has been through my area. Everybody has a different shape to their scat. They have, like I said, different colors. And so I can tell the different animals. Sometimes the same species, like turkeys, for instance, the male and the female, when they scat or poo, their scat looks different from each other. So with a turkey, I can actually tell the difference if it's a male or a female in my little nature area just by looking at their scat. And I'm going to show you how. This is what this is right here. I made it out of Play-Doh. So it's yellow, but think that it's usually black and white out in nature usually when I find it. It's got a mixture of urea, which is the liquidy stuff, the white stuff, and then the poo or the solid part, which is the blacker stuff. So you might see a little bit of both in there. But if I walk up and I see this, and remember, this is just Play-Doh. In nature, I do pick it up, but I have gloves on. I collect it because, again, I can tell a whole lot about my ecosystem, and I'll explain. But this is simply what a male turkey poo looks like, a J, okay? And usually it'll be black, and up here will be a little bit of white, and it'll be pinched off here. So I can tell that I've had some male turkeys, be it a gobbler or a jake, I'm not sure. Usually I can tell a little bit more, maybe based on size, what age of turkey I have. But this is my male, and if I see this, then I know my females have been out. So does that look like, I always say, the top of an ice cream cone, that little whoop on the top? That's exactly what it looks like out there. It looks like that. So this is my female turkey scat, and this is my male turkey scat. So when I'm out there in the environment and I'm doing a species count, I'm looking for diversity, I'm looking for how many of these guys I might find and how healthy they are, I go looking for scat. I then look inside, so I'll get me a little stick, and I will look inside there, and I can tell what they've been eating. If this J shape isn't quite that J shape, it's got a little liquid to it or a lot of liquid to it, I know my gobbler or my tom isn't feeling well, because that is not a common look for a scat. So I can tell sometimes if they're sick. I can tell if male or female. I can tell all kinds of things. And if I see a whole bunch of it, I know that there's probably more than one in an area. So all kinds of things that we can talk about. But scat or poo is one of my favorite things to talk about. So What do you think of that so far? We love turkeys. Turkeys are really, really cool. At one time, Benjamin Franklin really wanted the turkey to be our national symbol instead of the bald eagle because he thought that turkeys were a more regal and refined bird than eagles were. So, very cool. So, the last thing that I would love to do with you guys today is make a turkey call, okay? So, again, I'm going to give you time to go and get a plastic cup, yarn, scissors to cut your yarn, a pencil, a paper clip, and some water. So while you do that, I will wait. Great, you're back with me. Wonderful. So I'm going to set this aside real quick and I'm going to move my scat. I do have a real scat collection, by the way, just to let you know. So this is what we're going to do. The first thing you're going to do, my friends, is you're going to take your red cup. You're going to take your pencil. And you're going to go right in the center of the cup right here, as center as you can, and very gently poke a tiny hole, and I just very gently tap on the top of the pencil. Look how easy that went in. I might make it a little bit bigger. Okay, there you go. That's all it needs to be, because all we're going to want to do is we're going to take yarn. Okay, we're going to take it and just pull it to an arm's length. Okay, so I have an arm's length like that. I'm just going to cut it. If you have a little trouble with cutting, friends, have an adult or an older sibling help you out. You can move the yarn over to the side now. Okay, there you go. So you have this length. What we're going to do is we're going to put our yarn in our hole, pull it through until there's just a little bit left on this side, okay? What I do is I put my yarn right here, then I take my pencil and I poke the yarn through with my pencil. That allows me to be able to get it from the other side. Okay, so if you have trouble getting it in there, just use your pencil to push it through. And of course, I don't ever have trouble until I'm right in front of the film. Okay, look at that. So we're going to pull it through till we have about that much left. Set it down. Now you're going to attach your paper clip. So just pull it through there and then give it 2 nice ties. I tied it once and then I'm going to tie it again so it doesn't come off. Okay. Then I'm just going to move my thread down so it's on the side of the paper clip, just like that. Everybody see? Then I'm going to go ahead and pull this all the way through so my paper clip is just laying right on top. Okay? So that is a turkey call. And you go, really, Miss Kim, that's a turkey call? Yeah, let me show you how it works and the reasoning behind that. I have another piece of string, and you guys can get another piece of string if you'd like, or even use, okay, let's just use this one, okay? See this right here? I want you to take your 2 fingers, and I just want you to pull down. You hear anything? I can hear a little bit just coming through there. Now, if you take another string, okay, take your fingers and do that with just the string without the cup. Can you hear anything at all? Nothing. Nothing at all. Now do it here. You hear a little bit of difference, don't you? There's a reason for that. Sound needs vibrations to happen. We know that. Think of a piano when it's playing. It has the keys, it has the strings, but it has all of that wood around it. That wood around the strings is what catches those vibrations and makes the sound. And that's called a sounding board. So when you press that key and that string hits, the vibrations hit the wood, and that's what makes that sound. When it hits that vibration hits the wood. It's called a sounding board. So that's what happens. So you can just about see that from here. You can't hear anything. To here, my cup is now a sounding board. So I can kind of hear that. But what I want you to do even cooler is now I want you to dip your fingers. You can even do 3, I like 3. Dip 3 fingers in water. This is going to be even more of a sounding board to help that vibration. Now I want you to take your string and I want you to jerk in jerky motions, just like this. Did we just yelp? Did we sound like a turkey yelping? Put your fingers in your water. Make those vibrations and sounding boards work. I can do this all day long. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Please continue getting better with your turkey call. You're going to be doing a lot of yelping. So which turkey would that be? Is that the female or the male? Right, you're going to be making some female yelping sounds like that. All right, my friends, my time is up for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Come back and join me next week. We will be exploring nature and animals and STEM all together. Have a good day, my friends. I will see you later. Bye.